Hello, everyone. We are back for another action-packed, worm-filled, ass-blasting, shrieker-infested episode of
Don't forget the
Real
graboids.
Vile. How you doing, Kelly?
I am all right. It has been a week of, yes, ass blasting, shrieking fucking grabbers, dude. Like,
Graboids.
graboids. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Put some respect on their name. We had to watch 7 of these fucking movies because of you.
Yeah, so it's been a pretty busy weekend of that. And,
We
I don't
haven't
know,
even
the
had
weather.
a full week. We haven't had a full week because we recorded late on the last episode, and then you sprung this on me. 7 movies we had to go through. 7 Tremors movies. 2 of them starring goddamn Jamie Kennedy with pointy sideburns and spiky hair at 50 years old.
You know what, though? I went in for the Bon Jovi and came out with a love for fucking Burt Gummer.
Burt Gummer. That's my boy. That's the man right there.
Yeah.
You know what's really odd is, played by Michael Gross. I knew him when I went into the original Tremors when I was a kid. I watched Tremors when it first came out, the first one. And Michael Gross was known as America's dad because he was the dad from Family Ties. So it starred Michael J. Fox and all that. He was like the sitcom dad. He was like the most lovable character. And they cast him against type in the first Tremors as like this weapons crazed, doomsday prepping, hillbilly. And it was really odd to see. And as a kid, I couldn't really shake that vision of him. But boy, after these 7 movies, I am speaking the gospel of Burt Gummer.
Right, man? Yeah, look out for a possible Burt Gummer shirt in the near future.
Well, I think we should preface how this all came about, shouldn't we?
Yes.
I mean,
Go
you
ahead.
want me to tell the story, or you want me to tell it?
Go for it.
So there I am, minding my biz, just hanging out, doing my thing, and I get a text message from Kelly. Yo, Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi was on the radio. We should do an episode about Tremors. I said I'd fail to see what one has to do with the other. Come to find out, a very long conversation and a lot of convincing later, Kelly was under the impression that Bon Jovi, not Kevin Bacon, starred in Tremors. This is how this all came about. And then on last week's episode, unbeknownst to me, I agreed to do Tremors. He threw down the gauntlet that we were going to do all 7 movies in less than a week's time. All 7 Tremors movies. So we did.
It's been an adventure. It's been one hell of a ride.
On our own. We both just finished up with 7 in separate households.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking all things Tremors tonight. But before that, got a few movies to talk about. But what's been going on in your world, Kelly? Anything new?
I mean, other than the Tremors marathon this week, the weather's been fucking beautiful. So honestly, I've been just trying to
Stormed all day yesterday.
I love it. Besides that, I haven't been able to get to my grass, but I've been cleaning up the back porch, like getting the yard ready, to hang out there. You and I did have a movie night out there when we watched Tremors 2, 3, and 4.
No, it was 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
So 3 got a little rough because your buddy showed up drunk as shit and just talked the whole time.
Yeah.
But we had a cookout. I stuffed some chicken with some spinach and sun-dried tomatoes and mushrooms and such, and we grilled that out and watched some Tremors movies, had some beers.
Yeah, other than that, just working. Working, designing shit, fucking watching Tremors. So many sandworms.
So yeah, because of this Bon Jovi debacle, we do have a shirt hitting the web store. It'll be a picture of Kevin Bacon from Tremors with the Bon Jovi logo above him. So feel free to go.
You'll see it. I'll make a mock-up for when this video comes out. You'll see it on the screen.
So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Till then, what have you been watching, Kelly? You want to take a movie?
Well, a couple weeks ago, before we got into this whole, John Bovey.
John Bovey.
Bon Jovi, Tremors debacle. I watched Ticks. What year did that one come out? I wasn't ready to talk about this one very much tonight, but I think it was like
1993,
19. Oh, I would have guessed in the 80s. Starring
directed by
Seth
Tony
Green.
Randall.
Yep, Tony Randall, Clint Howard. This one's a really fucking fun one, actually. It's got, like the troubled teens. They're going to camp out. It's like one of those places where they take the teens away and make them survive in the wilderness, to teach them a lesson.
Like a
This is
scared straight
starring.
youth camp.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. In this youth camp is the guy that plays Carlton. What the hell was his name in this movie? It was great.
In this one is Panic because he don't.
Panic. Yeah, that's right. Panic, because I don't. uh, yeah, Seth Green is also in this camp. And basically, Clint Howard is somehow involved in this. There's like a government experiment and stuff going on, and it leaks some, toxic fluid into the earth, which got a hold of some ticks in these woods and created these giant fucking monsters. So that's the movie Ticks. It's really awesome though. It's fun. It's got, you got your street toughs, which are the kids at the Scared Straight program. Everybody in it, really good acting, really good production for the time. It's just highly entertaining. Yeah, I don't know, Chris. I know you've seen this. What do you think?
Yeah, I've seen Ticks a couple times. It's a favorite of mine. I really
Mhm.
enjoy giant insect movies. That's why I'm looking very much forward to. I believe it's called Stung, the big spider one. And
Oh
there's
yeah,
uh,
I've seen the
there's a
cover
new
and
one that
stuff.
just hit Shutter that I haven't got to watch yet called Infested. I'm pretty excited about. But, I like stuff like Stung and Bite and stuff like that. So it was
Fly.
The Fly. So this was pretty up my alley. Seth Green was pretty funny to see, and this also had like Carlton, why he was on Fresh Prince, but playing like a complete wannabe badass named Panic. Thought that was
Yeah,
pretty funny.
he had a
I
pretty
give this
cool
one,
dog.
I give this one 3.5 stars. Um,
Yeah, three and a half is fair. I think that's a good rating as well.
yeah, 3.5. I mean, it's a middle of the roader, but what do you want from a cheesy giant tick infestation movie? It's just a lot of fun. This is kind of one of those ones you can just pop on with some friends, have some popcorn and some beers, and enjoy yourself. So yeah, definitely check out Ticks. I believe we watched that on Tubi.
Yeah, I believe it's on Tubi. Let me look. Yeah.
Everything's on. Yeah, it's on Freebie, so it means it's on.
Freevee, Pluto, Tubi. Yep. All the above.
So yeah, definitely check out Ticks. With that being said, I'm going to talk about one I really enjoyed. This one was called Lake Michigan Monster. This was came out in 2018. It was directed by a duo. Oh no, there's this guy just got a really long name. Raylan Brixton Cole Twos. The way I found this was there's a movie coming out called 100 Beavers that I thought looked really entertaining. It looked very fun. Kind of looked like it had a bit of Animal the Musical vibe to it, with like a little bit of Looney Tunes and all that, but live action. And I was curious if they made anything else, so they had made a movie called Lake Erie Monster, which was available on Tubi. This one is like 100% my style of filmmaking. It's very tongue in cheek, like Cannibal the Musical or something along those lines. It's all in black and white. It's really inventive. Like it's very low budget, but inventive with its no budget to where it's not boring or fun or like boring to look at. They use the black and white to their advantage. It's really tongue in cheek. It has a little bit of a Garth Marenghi's Dark Place kind of vibe to it. I know that's a
That shit was fun.
I know it's a television show not a lot of people have seen, but
Mhm.
definitely to watch it on YouTube. It's one of my personal favorites. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place has that kind of sense of humor. But basically, what you have is a group of specialists that are trying to find a monster that attacked a captain in Lake Erie or Lake Michigan, which is right by where we live. This was
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Definitely did take itself seriously. Real inventive. A lot of jokes, like a joke a minute kind of thing. Definitely check it out. It was on Tubi. I gave this one 4.5, almost a perfect score, and I'm looking forward to seeing 100 Beavers. So Tubi, Lake Michigan Monster. You seen that shit, Kelly?
No, but I remember you talking about it. Sounds interesting. And I like anything that takes place like, kind of locally. I really liked that about Barbarian, how it took place in Detroit. And it seemed
Yeah.
like areas, dude, if you didn't tell me that wasn't fucking filmed in Detroit, like
Well, they fooled me when I first watched it too, but I watched a interview with the director and they talked about how they had built the neighborhood. I believe in I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was somewhere overseas.
it was crazy.
But they did actually do some filming of, excuse me, downtown, from the expressways, stuff like that. That's all stuff that we see almost every week when we're palling
For all
around.
like the B-roll and shit. Yeah. Oh. Well, I didn't watch a whole lot else. I started watching this other one. I think you were here for this. Oh, this one's dumb as shit. I don't know. It was I can't decide if it's just like bad bad or just like funny bad.
Are you
This
talking
is
about Bite?
Bite. Yes.
We didn't start watching. We watched the whole damn thing.
Yeah, the director that did this, Eddie Langille. He did Mother Krampus 2, Sleigh Ride, Tweedledee, Tweedledum. Nothing I've ever heard of.
A lot
Yeah.
of crap.
Well, this one wasn't. It is about an app that turns people into werewolves. So, so yeah, basically, there's like some Kent State students. I don't know. The one kid has this idea to download this app. They want to see if it's real. And when he downloads the app, doesn't he get some sort of package?
Yes, he downloads the app and then he has to put his address in, and then a vial of werewolf's blood comes in the
That's right.
mail, and they have to go drink it in the graveyard. So it's not really the app that turns him into a werewolf, but it's through the app.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's
It's
fucking.
it was entertainingly stupid at times, but I think overall this was just stupid. This might belong on one of our shitfest episodes.
This would have been perfect for a shitfest episode. The way they made the werewolf look was hilarious because
Yeah.
his head almost looked like
Yeah.
a bat because he had these giant ears with all these like halos and circles and shit through it. And then he didn't have much of a muzzle. He just had kind of a flat face. So it just looked like a big furry bat running around.
That's right. It was pretty stupid. But yeah,
It was
that's Bite.
it was superbly stupid. It did wax and wane between like so bad it's good and just bad. I would say that's more on the side of bad, just until like the last showdown of the wannabe werewolf apocalypse thing they got going on.
God, yeah, the characters were just so fucking annoying. I don't know. Just
Yeah,
like
and that's it's spelled BYTE. So
yes,
bite, like a,
like a computer bite,
I guess.
I guess.
That
But
shit
yeah, that was
sucked.
stupid. I'll give it a 2.
I gave it a 1.5,
Okay, that's fair.
and that comes from the guy who loves shit. Yeah, I did not
Yeah.
enjoy it. I did not enjoy it one bit. Well, I did enjoy some of it. I'm not
There
gonna
was
say
some
that.
scenes we
I
laughed
mean,
at. Yeah, but
there was some stuff like whenever the werewolf came out, there was a lot of werewolf action. Normally, with like a movie this cheap, they wouldn't show the werewolf until like the very end, and that werewolf is in like every other fucking scene,
it is.
just looking dumb as shit. They really got their mileage out of that costume. Yeah, it was all right. I wouldn't watch it unless you have nothing else to do. That one was on Tubi, so she gave it 2. I gave it 1.5.
There we go.
I'll talk about one more before we get into Tremors mania. I rewatched The Ward, which was John Carpenter's last horror movie he ever made.
With Amber Heard.
Correct. I'm starting to realize that the problem with the movie wasn't the script itself. It was literally everyone he cast in it. No one made sense, especially Amber Heard. Amber Heard was awful, and this has nothing to do with the Johnny Depp court case shit. She just did not fit or belong in this movie. It did not make sense.
I
was awful in it, and she didn't know what she was doing in it, and so like there's great camera work like Carpenter normally does, and some really interesting stuff going on, but then you just had these terrible actors and actresses just hamming it up, and I think that the skeleton was there, and I think that if he actually, because we all know that Carpenter doesn't give a shit anymore. He really doesn't. He's give me my video games and leave me the fuck alone is what Carpenter is nowadays. He's like, I'll play some music, I'll do some live concerts. I got my fucking PlayStation in the tour bus. I'm good. So it felt like the care just wasn't there. It was definitely miscast horribly, but there was like the bones of a good movie here. It just didn't pan out the way it should have. But with that being said, I give it 2.5. I watched on Tubi. It was okay. In the right hands, like in the right cast, it would have been a lot of fun. You had a great mystery going down at a psych ward. You had monsters and like, is she crazy? Is she not? All this stuff, and that's not a working load that Amber Heard can handle. You need somebody that can really do a duality and a craziness and all that, and she's a very one-dimensional actress, and you need somebody that can actually do some more emoting aside from I'm pretty, here's my lines,
Yeah. I watched this not that long ago too, actually. But she seemed really lazy with this role.
Yeah.
Like just real lazy with it. Like didn't put much emotion, It was just like like you just said, like I'm pretty, what's my lines, that is like the feel that came off of her from that.
Yeah, up until this whole trial thing, I didn't even know who she was, and I realized I've seen her in a lot of movies. Like she was in like Drive Angry with Nicolas Cage and all that, and the Aquaman movies and all that shit. And I never noticed her because she is such a bland, just blend in, pretty face actress. There's nothing going on there.
Nothing that really stands out.
No. So, and I don't think she's the whole problem. It was like the whole cast. Like I think he just miscast the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I could see that. Absolutely.
You got anything else you want to hit?
Nope. I've spent less than a week watching 7 Tremors movies, so let's
Whose fault is that?
It's totally mine. It is totally mine. But you know what? I regretted it kind of halfway through, but like by the end of it, I was like, yeah, fucking
so
yeah.
Here's how I think we should do it.
Yeah.
I think we should go through, do a brief overview of each movie and our thoughts on it, and then we'll do our own individual how we rank them, like favorite to least favorite.
And now for our feature presentation.
All right, so first up, let's hit the OG, the original Tremors, 1990, directed by Ron Underwood, starring not Bon Jovi, but Kevin Bacon. Sure? And Fred Ward, along with Michael Gross and Reba McEntire. Now, this one will always be the GOAT.
Yeah.
This one
absolutely rocks.
It's a phenomenal movie. Beyond just being fun, like it's been a number of years since I watched it. It's actually directed insanely well. There's some really interesting and thought out shots going on. They really use the landscape very well to like really paint the picture and make it feel big and grand, even though there's like a cast of 14 people. The special effects were great.
Fantastic.
For the time, it was really inventive. It definitely jocked off of Dune a bit with the whole sandworm concept. But so did Beetlejuice at this time too. So, but the way they did it, it felt like Burbs meets Jaws in the desert.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is one that you don't really think of like a horror movie that takes place during the fucking daytime. You don't get a lot of these, and the entire series basically takes place in the daytime.
Yeah, there's not a lot of nighttime scenes. And one of the things that is a running theme throughout all 7 of these movies is isolation. It's always just kind of a pack of people in an isolated area dealing with this situation that they can't get away from. We get the introduction of the one character that will be through all 7 Tremors movies, Michael Gross's Burt Gummer.
The hero of the Tremors fucking franchise.
What's a 7? I wouldn't even know what the hell to call a 7 film.
What? Franchise.
Well, yeah, but you got like a quadrilogy or something like that. Like I don't know what the fuck I would call it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but the first one is just absolutely great. Everything from the practical effects that they use for the graboids. This is your intro to the graboids. You learn that they have no smell, no sight. They, kill you based on, or they sense where you are based on vibrations. Hence the name Tremors. But yeah, Bon Jovi rocked in this movie.
Not in this movie. Also, Blaze of Glory, not written for this movie.
Well, we'll get to that at the end. But
also,
yeah,
Reba McEntire actually being a country musician in this, not Bon Jovi, was actually a lot of fun. The one thing I did make the comment of, and I say this with high praise because this is one of her and I's favorite movies, is it did actually remind me a little bit of The Burbs. And the reason I say that is that it's an eclectic group of characters confined to one small area dealing with one situation that's horror-based, but with humor. And it really kind of felt that way. It felt very small but huge at the same time, the same way that The Burbs did. And it had almost that same sense of humor. So, yeah, I really enjoyed the first one. This one's a 4.5 for all day with me.
Yeah, 4.5 for almost a perfect movie. It's definitely a cult classic. If you haven't, for some reason, fucking seen Tremors, go watch Tremors. They're all on YouTube, aren't they? Except for the last
all but
one.
part 7.
Yeah.
Remember we ran into that today.
Yes.
All right, let's move on to part 2. Tremors 2. Aftershock.
Aftershock. Directed by S.S. Wilson, which wrote the screenplay for the first Tremors. So he is working on this the whole time.
He will return and direct part 4 as well.
Yeah, yep. This one is in 1996. Had a significantly lower budget and was straight to video when this one came out.
We did have 2 returning characters in this one. You had Fred Ward coming back as Earl Bassett. No Kevin Bacon coming back. I did do a little research on that. What happened was that Kevin really enjoyed making the first one, but when it was in theaters, it was a complete flop. And this was one of the first movies that was a flop in theaters that really became a cult classic when it came to VHS. So that didn't happen until after they started filming Tremors 2. And he was like, well, why am I going to bother with that? So he opted out of the second one.
They also wanted Reba McEntire to come back too. She was on tour at the time, so she turned it down. And also Kevin Bacon was getting ready to film Apollo 13.
Correct.
Yeah.
He has in recent interviews that I believe in 2020 said that this is one of the few characters he'd like.
Uh-oh. Losing you.
Uh-oh.
Yesterday.
We just lost you for like...
we lost you for a few minutes.
We lost you at... Kevin Bacon said he'd like... This is one of the few characters that he... And then he froze.
Yeah.
Just say it again.
Take 2. Action. Kevin Bacon did say that this is one of the few characters he would love to come back and revisit, not in a remake, but as a continuation, because he did enjoy doing the movie and being that character so much. But he did actually show up as that character in the TV show, but we didn't get to watching that because we didn't find out about it till yesterday.
Yeah.
They did, however, use Bon Jovi in the commercial for that.
Blaze of glory, nonetheless. When Chris sent me that fucking video clip of the Tremors series, and I opened it and I heard Blaze of Glory, I almost. Dude, the scream, I screamed.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I thought somebody was fucking with me. There's been a lot of weird coincidences around this movie
Us
this week,
watching
like
this.
how it even happened that like I've been seeing like weird Tremors memes pop up. I haven't heard anyone talk about Tremors in years. Apparently, Tremor Fest is going on right now as we speak.
Fucking
So, yeah.
hosted by Michael Gross, Burt Gummer himself. Oh, we haven't gotten to why he's our hero yet. So basically, in part 2, Burt Gummer comes back. Are they in Perfection? In 2? I didn't catch that.
No, this is the one where they go down to Mexico and they're hunting the graboids, and then it only takes to part 2 to where they just abandon the sandworms and go right to tremor dogs that are now known as shriekers. So that's what most of this is hunting the shriekers.
Well, these shriekers now they have legs, and like just like the tremor or the graboids. The graboids, they're not tremors, they hunt by tremors. But yes, the graboids, they have the same face as the graboids, but they also have these like dog-like bodies, and they hunt by thermal now. They're still blind, but they have these things on their head. Yeah. They have these things on their head where they can sense your heat, your body heat. Shriekers.
Yeah, so it didn't take them long to give up on the sandworms, and so what they're saying is that eventually the graboids will turn into 3 shriekers. So the whole movie, and they're like the size of a large dog.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just running around on 2 legs, chomping down on people. This one's a lot of fun. This one, it gets real goopy. You know, the first half is just them blowing up Tremors with RC cars with dynamite or graboids, and then it goes on to them just shooting the shit out of these dog things. This one's probably my second favorite in the series. This one's a lot of fun. I gave this one part 2. Hold on, I gotta pull up my star rating. I gave this one 3.5. I actually really enjoyed Tremors 2 Aftershocks. What about you, Kelly?
Yeah,
how many stars you give it?
I give this one a 3. I enjoyed it as well. I think I liked the next one slightly more.
Well, you want to get to it?
we can get to it. This is where they go back to Perfection, which I don't know if we made that clear. Perfection is the city that the first one took place in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, which will turn into quite a racist joke in the 4th one.
Jesus. Yeah, it does. I forgot about that. Fucking hell. But this is Tremors 3, Back to Perfection. This one came out in 2001, starring our fucking favorite person, Michael Gross.
Burt Gummer.
And you know, he's now becoming like renowned as being a fucking graboid hunter. Like he's taken out the shriekers at this point. He's taken out the fucking graboids. And he's like, I love Burt Gummer. He's such like a comic relief at the same time. Like he's a goofy motherfucker that like lives in the desert that's just kind of a badass, and now his like life's purpose is taking out these fucking graboids.
He's a bit of a doomsday prep and weapon enthusiast kind of guy, you know.
Yeah.
Basement full of guns, wearing fatigues on his free time, shooting glasses all day kind of guy.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
But this one, what we find out is as these go on, aside from part 4, they always kind of introduce something weird, new, or different with the graboids.
It's how they evolve, you know. It's something with
this
the
one has
evolution.
the biggest swing for the fences.
We had to rewind it. Like, did he just fucking say that?
So we find out the 3rd phase after they are the shriekers. They turn into what's now dubbed. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So, the next stage in the evolution of the graboid shrieker species is this one flies. It flies because it has chemicals in its ass like sulfur and shit. So when it shakes its ass, it mixes the chemicals, which causes an explosion inside of it, which propels it, and it also has wings. But that's what they explain, and it's able to fly. These are called the ass the ass blasters.
The ass blasters. They just keep their wings straight. Fire comes out of their ass, and they glide around and eat you. The ass blasters, and they refer to these creatures as ass blasters through the rest of the movies, aside from Part 4, because Part 4 only has worms.
Are they? They're not even called graboids in 4, are they? I don't even think they were.
Well, no, because they dubbed them that in the original one, and 4 is a prequel.
Yes.
Boy, we're all over the place.
Jesus. But yeah, Back to Perfection might be the most ridiculous one in the series.
Yes.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But what I love about this series is they take that ridiculousness and they run with it throughout the entire fucking series.
Yeah, they just really take that ball and run with it. I mean, they call these things ass blasters to the whole rest of this series. Straight faced. Ass blasters.
We got graboids, we got shriekers, we got ass blasters. Oh,
and we're only 3 movies in.
The ass blasters can also lay eggs, and the eggs kind of hatch into these little things called dirt demons that are basically like the grabbers on the graboids, but they're like just the grabbers. Because the graboid is the worm, but it's got like the 3 arms that are also like little worms. That's why in the first one, they kept thinking all those little ones were were fucking extra graboids, but no, it's all the same graboid connected to a big one.
This
Anyway.
was a bad idea, Kelly. the other worms come out of its mouth. So, like, when it opens its mouth, it's got 3 little worms inside, almost like the extra mouth inside the alien. Like from H.R. Geiger's design. But yeah. This one really gets fucking wacky. This is where ass blasting now becomes canon in the entire series. This is where Burt Gummer gets a little more loose and wild, which is real fun to see. He definitely is a character that got me through some of the later ones. There's a couple of the later ones that are really hard to get through. Namely when Jamie Kennedy shows up. Oh boy. But
I had
Tremors
no
3,
idea.
Back to Perfection. And by the way, you were wrong about the last one. That S.S. Wilson did not write the first one. Brent Maddock, who directed this one, wrote the first one, second one, and this one.
Ah. Well, S.S. Wilson was on it somehow. I don't know.
He directed the next one.
He was on the crew prior to directing.
I don't believe you.
All right.
All right. So I give that one 3.5.
Yeah, same. 3.5. Yep.
All right. Now this is where it starts taking a dip.
This one, Tremors 4, The Legend Begins in 2004, I feel is the worst one of the series.
I do not.
No?
No.
Okay.
There's one that takes that slot from me, but we'll find that when we break them down later. This one definitely was the first one that felt like a slog to me to get through. Especially since they had Burt Gummer in there, but it was like his ancestor, because this one is a prequel that takes place in the Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
But what's crazy is normally in a prequel you get like an origin story or whatever, and you get none of that.
No.
Burt Gummer's great-great-granddad owns a silver mine, and the graboids show up and start eating people in the silver mine, and he shows up to start doing something about it. This one, the best parts of it are that the ending showdown was a lot of fun. Billy Drago showed up as Black Hand Kelly. It's always fun to see him hamming it up in a villain role. Like, I've never seen him play a good guy. He's kind of like Jack Palance, but a little younger with longer hair. This one, all in all, I felt moved really slow. It did have its moments. Like there was that scene where that guy was running, and the sand demons, one hit him in the legs, while the other one hit him in the head in separate directions, and just totally fucking biffed him. Thought that was fun.
Yeah.
There was some good gore. But I felt like the story moved slow. I didn't like seeing Grandpa Gummer, who went by Hiram Gummer in that one. I didn't really like seeing him as like a
Hiram?
freewheeling dandy boy who's eating gingerbread and riding bicycles. Thought that was weird. This whole movie felt like they had like just filmed a Western and they still had the sets, and they're like, hey guys, make a Tremors movie real quick. And they did. The ending showdown was fun. When Hiram Gummer finally becomes a surrogate for BURT, brings on his cannons and guns and all that shit. But
That's right, yeah.
this was the first one, and I was like, oof, I don't know. This one was rough.
Yeah. Same, man. I felt like you said. I felt like this one moved way too slow. It didn't hold my attention as much as the other one. What I do like is the fact that they were trying to get rid of the ass blaster. Or I don't know if I like that now, but at the time when I watched it, I was like, all right, I like how they're trying to get back to the graboid roots, you know. But,
they took a lot of the humor out of it.
It did. And
this is the first one to do that, and there's only one other that does that, and that's way later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it took the humor out. It wasn't. I think it needed that. The one that we'll get to it later, but that one without the humor, it actually worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so I give this one 1.5.
Yeah, man, I give it a 2.
Story.
I'm not a fan.
So that was Tremors 4, Back to Perfection. Here we go. Tremors 5, Bloodlines, directed by Don Michael Paul. Now, Don Michael Paul will direct the last 3 of these movies to varying degrees of success. This one I did enjoy more than the Western one, but not a lot more. This one felt more like it was a bit of a sci-fi original kind of vibe. They traded in all the practical effects. This is the first one that didn't use any practical effects. It was all CGI. You could tell they tried to young and hip it up a little bit by putting in a 45-year-old Jamie Kennedy as a dirt bike stunt rider with pointy sideburns and spiky hair. And boy, did he just grate the shit out of me every time he was on screen. I hated him in this movie and the next one. I'm glad that he was only in the 2 and didn't come back for the last one. But this one, they at least tried to bring the fun back. This one has this one has the thing they introduced in this one is a queen graboid.
Yes, this one takes place in. Go on. I was gonna say this one takes place in Africa, so the species is different.
This one they felt like they kind of took from Aliens, and they had like the queen that was laying the eggs, and then like putting all the graboids down, and then they had to kind of like track down the queens. Hence the bloodlines thing. They're trying to erase the bloodline of it. Meanwhile,
there's another reason for that bloodline.
Well, go ahead.
Meanwhile, go on. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just throwing that. Okay. I that's all I had.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to explain what you were just saying. Anyway, this one was fine. Jamie Kennedy pretty much is just running around with a camera the entire time trying to make a Burt Gummer reality TV show. The thing that annoyed the shit out of me about this one, and it's the only one this director did. The director who did this one did the next 3, but for some reason, every single shot of this had to be an extreme close up of everything.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Really disconcerting, and I really didn't enjoy it. It felt really fucking uncomfortable. Like I did not need to be that close to Jamie Kennedy's pores or Burt Gummer's pores. Like, like like I mean, people are conversating to get the shot they wanted. These people had to be like 2 inches away from each other talking, and it was still so close that they didn't even have their whole heads in the shots and shit. It just felt claustrophobic and annoying. I didn't really enjoy the CGI work in this one. It definitely got better going forward in some of the later ones, but I felt the CGI work in this one was kind of Like, this is the first time they didn't use the practical effects. They brought back the ass blasters and the shriekers, and then they introduced that the queen could detach its mouth tendrils, and those could just crawl freely without it. Is what they introduced in this one.
Like basically like small graboids.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of this. I mean, you got Jamie Kennedy doing Jamie Kennedy type comedy basically through the whole thing.
Not only that, it felt like they tried to like inject that like X Games youthful thing with his character. When he was filming this, he was 46. So that now they dressed him like Negan from Walking Dead. So he had like a leather jacket on and a red scarf, and they had these like pointy sideburns and a mustache, a goatee, and like they spiked his hair out. It was just really out of place and annoying.
And then the story with him and Gummer, apparently he is Burt Gummer's long lost son, which I was like, really? They're gonna do that? They're gonna do that to Gummer?
Did not enjoy that.
No.
Gummer, if Gummer's blowing loads and ladies, all that's coming out are handguns. That dude's giving birth to Desert Eagles straight out of wombs.
Yes. But,
so that one, I did enjoy more than the last one. I gave that one 2.
2.5 for me. Bloodlines 2015. Oh yeah, that's what I meant by the Bloodlines. It's the Burt Gummer, fucking Jamie Kennedy bloodline.
Now we're on to Tremors 6, A Cold Day in Hell.
2018. This one isn't far off from the first one, except it takes place in the Arctic. I'm just saying, as far as the fucking dumb comedy with Jamie Kennedy and like him just hitting on the lady in another part of the fucking world. And
no, not like the first one, like the previous one to this.
Well, first one, that's what I meant. The first one with Jamie Kennedy.
Yes, the first one is not Bon Jovi.
5. No, not Bon Jovi. But yeah, this one isn't great. The Graboids, they burrow under the ice and, have been attacking villages up there. And it's down to Travis, which is fucking Jamie Kennedy's character's name, and Burt Gummer to save the Arctic communities from Graboids, Shriekers, and Ass Blasters.
The thing about this one is they filmed it in the desert still, and then they just used camera effects to make the sand into snow, and then they used snow candles to make it look like it was snowing the whole time. It's supposed to take place in the Canadian tundra. They introduced infections going out, so they introduced that Burt Gummer was infected because in a previous one he got swallowed by a graboid and they had to chainsaw him out, and somehow that has infected his blood. And they have to catch a graboid alive and get its fluids out to cure him of this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this one was stupid. This one was hard to pay attention to for me too. I don't know. The Jamie Kennedy character is not my favorite.
So yeah, this one like kind of doubled down on that Sci-Fi Channel original feel. It didn't feel like it had any really new ideas going on. Jamie Kennedy is kind of just a perv in this whole fucking movie.
Yeah, he really is.
I mean, he was a bit in the first one, but this one it was real bad. And I know it's like kind of like the thing to do to shit on that guy, but fuck, does he suck in some movies? Like in Scream, he's great. He plays what he's supposed to play, a nerd that I could buy him as a film nerd. A spiky haired, pointy fucking sideburned stunt bike rider in his late 40s. Well, by the time this movie came out, early 50s, I don't buy. I don't give a shit. So this one was it was a lower point in the series for me. I gave this one 2.
Yep. 2 on this. I think I gave it a 2.5. Yeah.
So that was Tremors 6. Leads us to one more. Tremors Shrieker Island. Directed by Don Michael Paul, who directed the last 3. Thank God Jamie Kennedy was not back for this one.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed the casting of this one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was great to see that they put in Richard Brake, who you may know from Barbarian. He did the opening monologue in 31 from Rob Zombie. He was in Asylum Blackout, which I think is a really overlooked, great horror movie not a lot of people see. He's real good at playing like unhinged psychopaths. He also played Nosferatu in Rob Zombie's The Munsters, which I thought he was actually pretty funny.
Oh,
never seen him in a comedic role. And then they had, instead of Jamie Kennedy, they had John Herder, who you may know as Napoleon Dynamite. So it's Burt Gummer and Napoleon Dynamite versus the fucking the Tremors.
The Shriekers. This one is Shrieker Island, actually. And basically the story of this is what's the dude's name you were just talking about? What's his name what's his name in the
he's Bill.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So Bill's basically like a big game hunter. And he's a rich guy with an island and shit. Somehow he gets one of the Shrieker species, or like an egg from one of the ass blasters or something. And well, he has this idea to have a big game hunting Shriekers thing on this secluded island. And fucking bad idea, because once again they evolve. They can swim now. Yeah. So they've got to call Burt Gummer from his secluded island where he was trying to retire from graboid fighting forever. They bring him back in and fight graboids.
This one's a mishmash of like 3 different movies that they proudly wear on their shoulders because they rip off scenes completely, which is Jurassic Park, Hard Targets, and Predator. They even refer to Predator as a ripping off one of its scene, and the Tremor vision now is full Predator vision, which means that he can zoom in and out, and it even makes the Predator noise while it's in Predator vision. But what you have is a bunch of rich people paying to go hunt graboids on this island under Richard Brake. Unfortunately, I do not know that they will turn into Shriekers and then ass blasters if not killed in time, and all hell breaks loose. They have to find our boy Gummer to come save the day with Napoleon Dynamite. This one, they foregoed the sense of humor on this one. It's the only other one that did that aside from the country western one, but it actually worked for this one. I mean, this was made by the same guy that made the last 2, but this one was the only one that he made that worked for me. I thought it was actually like shot really well. I thought that the acting was like 5 times better than the last 2. The jungle scenery was like pretty cool because it was very colorful and lush. There was actually some pretty cool shots and scenes in this. The CGI had definitely stepped its game up, so it looked a lot better. But man,
the monsters were looking cool again, man. The monsters were looking fucking sweet in this one.
But man, did they do my boy Gummer dirty.
I was not expecting that ending scene. I got up and I screamed at my TV. I said, no! And I fucking...
I'm not going to lie. I started this recording kind of sad, kind of upset because I had just finished it. And I wasn't expecting my boy Burt Gummer to go down like that.
Dude, he went out like both middle fingers up as that thing ate him.
Middle fingers blazing. And a blaze of glory.
in a blaze of fucking glory. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's and that one I gave a 3.5. I really enjoyed the last installment. It felt like a lot more fun than the two previous before it. It felt less weird, and it felt like more of like a fun movie. I liked most of what they did with it. I was definitely very happy Jamie Kennedy didn't come back because he really grated my nerves in the last two ones. John Herder really tried to act his ass off in this thing, but he's just not a good actor. So it kind of just like gave it this like bit of a hammy quality. I think he was supposed to be the comic relief, but he was such a bad actor that he didn't know how to portray the comedy of the scenes he was in, but it still was fine. It still worked because he wasn't Jamie Kennedy. So yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed this one. This one's 3.5.
Jamie Kennedy's character was in the beginning. They explained that he was in jail in Mexico somewhere, and then that's all they said about that.
Good.
Yeah.
Stay there.
Stay there. Yeah, I give this one 3.5 too. This might be my second favorite one of the entire franchise.
Second,
right. All right, we rating?
I know where my rating's going. I know you're still kind of putting yours together, so I'm gonna knock mine out while you're putting yours together. All right?
No, mine's out. Let's go.
So, mine goes 1, 2, 3 in that order.
Okay.
7, then 5, then 4, then 6.
Mine goes 1, 7, 3, 2, and then I mean 5 and 6 are basically the same. They're basically tied for the next place, and then 4 is my least favorite.
I still hated the snow one more than 4.
Okay, that's fair. I think I can agree on that.
So, since you decided to just pull this on me, and you decided what we were going to do without talking to me about it, I made a decision for next episode.
What do we got? What are we doing?
We are going to be diving into a franchise that gets so unbelievably fucked up and weird as it goes that not only does it go to space, but it goes to the hood twice.
Leprechaun?
We're doing Leprechaun.
Boom! All right. That is a fucking ridiculous one. I watched a few on St. Patty's Day, actually, not that long ago. Let's go.
Originally, I was going to hit you with Wrong Turn, but none of those were streaming. And then I was going to hit you with Carnosaur, but none of those were streaming. So we're going to be doing the Leprechaun movies next week.
All right.
All of them.
Let's go. Sounds good. Yeah. So yeah, fucking watch Tremors.
Also, I highly suggest you look up the Ballad of Burt Gummer on YouTube. We cannot play it on here because it does belong to somebody else. I tried. But it is a country western song that breaks down all the Tremors movies, what Burt Gummer does to them, and it's hilarious. So look that up on YouTube.
I think all we're missing now is I need to watch the series which starts out with a blaze of glory. Fucking the weirdest synchronicity in the world with all this going on right now. But yep.
So with that being said, we are out of here. Go watch something fucked up and vile. You got anything to say, Kelly?
No. See you next time.
See you next time.
Going down in the blaze of glory. Take me down now the truth. I'm going down in the blaze of glory.